Textual analysis is a method used to deeply examine a piece of writing to uncover its layers of meaning. Rather than just reading the words on the surface, it involves a systematic approach to understanding the text's purpose, audience, and underlying messages. Textual analysis can be guided by asking the learners to make their way systematically through a list of questions such as the following. What is the subject or the topic of the text? This question aims to identify the central theme or main idea that the text revolves around. Understanding the subject or topic is crucial because it provides a foundation for interpreting the rest of the text. For example, if a text repeatedly discusses climate change and its effect, the subject is likely environmental issues. Why might the author have written it? This question encourages you to delve into the author's motivation and purpose of creating the text. Was the author primarily trying to inform the reader about a particular topic, persuade them to adopt a certain viewpoint, entertain them with a story, or perhaps a combination of this? For instance, an opinion piece in a newspaper is usually written to persuade, while a scientific report aims to inform. Who is it written for? How do you know? Identifying the intended audience is essential for understanding how the text is crafted. Authors tailor their writing style, vocabulary, and level of detail to suit their target audience. Consider factors like age, education level, cultural background, and prior knowledge. Clues about the audience can be found in the language used, whether formal or informal, the types of sentence made, and the overall tone of the text. For example, a children's book will use simpler language and engaging illustrations, while a scholarly article will use technical jargon and detailed analysis. What values does the author assume the reader holds? How do you know? This question prompts you to consider the underlying assumptions and beliefs that the author expects the readers to share. Authors often write from a particular worldview, and they may assume that their readers hold similar values. Identifying these assumptions can reveal potential biases or perspectives that shape the text. Look for statements or arguments that seem to take certain values for granted. For example, a text advocating for environmental conservation might assume that the reader values sustainability and protecting natural resources. What knowledge does the reader need to bring to the text in order to understand it? This asks about the background information or prior understanding that the reader needs to fully comprehend the text. Some texts require specialized knowledge or familiarity with specific concepts. If the reader lacks this knowledge, they may struggle to make sense of the text. Consider whether the text assumes knowledge for historical events, scientific principles, or cultural references. For example, an article about quantum physics would require the reader to have some knowledge in physics. Who would feel left out in this text and why? Who would feel that the claims made in the text clash with their own values, beliefs, or experiences? This question encourages you to critically think about whose voices and perspective are marginalized or excluded from the text. It challenges you to consider how the text might be received by individuals with different backgrounds, beliefs, or experiences. Who might disagree with the author's claims? Whose stories are not being told? How is the reader positioned in relation to the author? Example, as a friend, as an opponent, as someone who needs to be persuaded, as invisible, or as someone who agrees with the author's views. This explores the relationship between the author and the reader and how the author attempts to influence the reader's perspectives. Authors often adopt a particular stance or tone to engage with their audience. Are they trying to build rapport with the reader, challenge their assumptions, or simply present information objectively? Consider the language used, the level of formality, and the overall tone of the text.